Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. This week I thought I would give you a glimpse at some of the vintage and antique finds that I have purchased in the last few weeks. I've been to one charity shop, I have found several people selling treasures on Marketplace, and I am also a big fan of Etsy for vintage goods. And I have several shops that I'm a big fan of. These silk scarves that you see right now are also from Etsy. I found a seller in the UK who sold them in bundles of 10. They did have to be washed and pressed. If you are friends with me on Facebook, you probably saw a video of me dancing and ironing these scarves after I washed them the day they came in, although it did get censored, so the dancing makes a little less sense without the music. Anyway, I think 7 out of 10 of these scarves are in some way an equestrian pattern, which I guess is pretty common with your vintage scarves, but I found that really funny. It works out great for me. For some other people, it may be confusing, or maybe they wouldn't even notice. Some of these did turn out to be name brand. I thought that was really exciting. And they were just so beautiful and different. And because it's kind of a grab bag, you get 10. She guarantees in this package that they're silk, although she did have some that included polyester and other fabrics. I just knew there would be 10 silk scarves of roughly some size. But I did not know what they would look like ahead of time, so it was kind of luck of the draw. It was really exciting, actually, just to see what was coming in, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know that I will need to buy more scarves because, like I say, there was 10 in this group, but if I did, I would absolutely go back to the seller again. So this is an antique Japanese hibachi that I picked up today. I got it off Marketplace from a lady who bought it in Japan when she was stationed there. I guess this is from the late 1800s or early 1900s. And according to what I read online, this is called a hibachi. It comes from the same word as the style of cooking that you may be familiar with. I know we have a lot of hibachi restaurants in my part of the United States, and it used to be used to hold charcoals to heat a room in someone's house, but obviously they don't need that anymore, so I guess it's popular to use these as giant fish bowls or put plants in them right now, and I plan to put a plant in it myself. I'm hoping it will fit my little palm tree, and if not, I know it will fit this other plant in my living room. It also came with a stand that the lady who I bought it from had made for it when she was stationed in Sicily, which is really handy because it's often so hard to find, Goofy dog, a plant stand that really fits the pot if you don't buy them together. But I think it's so beautiful. And because she's moving soon and really needed to get rid of it, I got it for an incredible price compared to similar items I found on eBay and Etsy. So this should be really fun. Let's go see if it fits my palm tree. And it fits really well, which is excellent. Now I just have to mop the floor. Hi guys. So my theme for this vlog is kind of shopping. And if you know me at all, you know I'm not big on shopping, generally speaking, but I love antique shops and thrift shops. And I went to one a couple weeks ago and bought a grandmother clock, which I'll show you here in just a few minutes. But they also had a lot of smaller items at the thrift shop / antique shop. It was kind of a weird in between that were really gorgeous, but I didn't want to waste my husband's time looking through everything then. So I went back on my own this Tuesday, and these are the little treasures that I got for a song. And some of them are kind of a project that I will need to be working on for the next little bit. So I thought I would share them with you. The first one is this really old school coffee grinder. Most of you will probably recognize this. We had an electric coffee grinder, but I broke it trying to grind cinnamon sticks. Don't do that. And I accidentally bought coffee beans instead of coffee grounds a couple weeks ago, so we've been grinding coffee with a mortar and pestle. And so I saw this and I'm like, I wonder if I can get this cleaned up and make it work. And luckily I did. So now it is clean and it works. And my husband was very, very impressed because he definitely thought it was going to be a fail. But if you are unfamiliar, you put the coffee in the top, you turn this, and your coffee grounds are in this drawer. So yeah, really cool. And the lady actually ended up giving me this for free when I bought all the other things. Once she gave me a final price, I was like, oh, I don't have that much. I'll just, put this back and I'll come back next week. She's like, no, it's a gift. So that was very generous. And that's the only one I've completed so far. Let's see. I also got this. This is an old school table lighter from when people used to smoke in their houses, from when people used to smoke, I guess. And it's really gorgeous. I don't know what this green stone that the outer portion is made out of is, but I thought it was really beautiful. Maybe some of you who know about stones can, guess what you think this is. But I keep a lighter out on my table most of the time for my candles, and it kind of looks like crap, and I'm always trying to tuck it behind little things so no one will see it. So I decided if I could get this to work, it would be gorgeous sitting on my table and also be really handy for lighting my candles. So if you aren't familiar with these, this is just decorative. This is not necessary. This is where all the magic happens. Some of them, the ones I found seem to be more prevalent in America, have actual liquid fuel that you have to put in, and you have to put a wick in that would go from up here where it lights to down here, and you have to put flint in it. But this one is butane. You can see right there the little valve that you load with butane. I feel like I would not be familiar with butane if I didn't have a kitchen torch. And because I have a kitchen torch and I got it recently, I have butane in my house, and I put this little end in this little thing, and then you press down and it fills this up. So now it's got fuel in it and it doesn't need a wick, but it still wouldn't light. So I had to call my dad and tell him that I was confused. And he told me that it probably needs flint. So I've got to go to the tobacco store, which is not a place I go very often, but apparently there is one not too far away. And if I go to the tobacco store, I should be able to get flint to put in this, and then it should be able to light on its own. But just to make sure it could light and that the fuel wasn't leaking out or whatever, I tested it by lighting it with a regular lighter. So let me see if I can do that right now. Nope. And there you go. So if I get it just right, this is how this lighter should work. Once I put flint in it, then I won't have to use this lighter to light it. And that would be really cool. So I hope with a couple more adjustments, I can make this operational, and then it will be pretty. And you know what? A lot of these, I got them and I knew they were gonna be a project, and I kind of decided if they didn't work out, it was something to occupy my time here in quarantine, because we're still in a fairly hardcore lockdown here in Belgium, and we'll just call whatever money I spent on it a donation to charity. I also got this beautiful little kerosene lamp. oil lamp. I'm not sure. My mom has a bunch of these, and so I'm gonna try. It's still got plenty of wick to just put, I guess, kerosene. I don't know, advise if you think that's a really bad idea, in it, and see if it will light, but I haven't gotten to go get kerosene yet. You can see the glass is really pretty because it's kind of imperfect. It's got little bubbles in it, and those are bubbles in the glass. It's not like dirty or anything. And then I really like the green. I've been really feeling green lately. You can probably tell I'm into the plant life, so the more green I can surround myself with, the more my mood will be elevated. And then I got 2 framed pieces. This one I actually saw the day we went to get the clock, and it is why I had to go back, because I knew I wanted it and I kept thinking about it, so I finally decided to get it. It is a lot of whole spices that have been dehydrated, and they are labeled in French. As you can see, I do know most of these words. I know my French food words better than I know other words. Some of them are probably similar to English enough that you can recognize them too. If not, they're pretty easy to look up. But I thought it was really beautiful and will look really awesome in my kitchen. So I had to go back for this. It will help me remember my French even once we go back to the States and I don't get to use it so much anymore. But these are peppercorns, and those are peppers, like hot peppers. And what are these? These are cocoa beans, I guess. Yeah. And nutmeg and star anise is what we call those. I don't know why their word is so different. And of course those are cinnamon sticks, and yeah, there's a bunch of them. I thought it was really cool. I also got this little picture. I do this sometimes where I have to get paintings just because I'd like to be in them. And I thought this cottage was really, really cute. It's very pastoral and rugged and just really spoke to me, and I liked all the books here in the corner. It just seemed like someplace I'd like to be. I don't know, you guys, sometimes that's how I choose my art. And it is kind of, you can't really see here. Yeah, you can. That it's got like this luminescence to it, sort of. It's like certain parts reflect the light differently. Like you can see a lot on the door, the lower part versus the upper part. It's not a difference in color, it's a difference in the ability to reflect the light. And I don't know what that process is, but I thought it was really cool, so I'm probably gonna put this in the kitchen too. I also got these little cups. They were probably originally meant to be handleless teacups, but my husband and I do not drink tea or coffee in such small portions. But I do find having little cups like this around are really, really handy for prepping a meal. If you cut up your garlic or whatever ahead of time, you can put it in a little cup like this, and then when you're ready for it, you just dump it in rather than trying to chop it up really fast and end up burning the stuff that's already in the pan because you weren't ready ahead of time. Also, this is Blue Willow. That is the name of this pattern. And I already have a bunch of Blue Willow, the first pieces of which I inherited from my grandma. And since then I have collected some other pieces. My mom has given me other pieces for Christmas and birthdays and stuff like that. And I have actually substituted other blue and white patterns with this one just to fill it out a little bit. And I like that because I like the more eclectic feel. But yeah, I was just really happy to find actual Blue Willow somewhere. And so yeah, these are gonna be my little food prep cups. They're great for like sauces and stuff too, just because they're nice and small like that. Really, really cute. And they'll need to be washed, of course. This place was like so overstuffed, and I almost knocked over like 3 things with my shopping bags, and the lady who was helping me ended up like carrying half my stuff out because she was afraid I was going to break her stuff, which is totally fine. I tried to be careful, but it was really, really packed with stuff. And there was definitely more stuff I was interested in, but it was buried underneath so many other items. I told her, let's just wait another day. We'll dig it out and look at it, because I knew I didn't bring that much cash. And a lot of places here in Belgium, you have to have cash. A lot of places, random places you wouldn't expect. We rented a truck a couple weeks ago to get our first long case clock, and we had to go get cash to pay for the truck rental and for the 300 euro safety deposit. So bring cash. The only other things I got were some old linens. We do use hankies. I definitely talked about that in another video, and then you have seen that I have a bunch of these ugly gray hankies that I made out of an old sheet, but I felt like these were really pretty, and since I got them for like a song, why not have pretty hankies? So I'm definitely gonna wash these now so that they can actually be used. And then I got these linen napkins that have a little bit of embroidery on them, and there's 4 of them, I think. Yes, 4, and they also need to be washed, but these were way more absorbent and actually useful than some of the prettier napkins I currently have that my husband will not use because he says they're not absorbent enough. And so yeah, this seemed like a really good opportunity. And the last thing I got is this crazy, very old cookie tin with King Leopold III of Belgium on it. I thought he looked very dashing. I'm not sure if this is the current king, who I also think is Leopold. I'll look that up before I put this video out for you guys, and maybe put a little disclaimer across the bottom. I like to collect old cookie tins because every Christmas I cook big batches of cookies and give them to everybody that is near us that we think is deserving of cookies and some people who really aren't. And I like to have cool cookie tins if possible. I will send them in things that aren't as cool as this if need be. But I thought this would be fun. Probably this Christmas we'll be back in the US, and so I figured this would be really funny for whoever gets given cookies in this. A lot of times people give me the cookie tins back, which is cool because I can reuse the same one over and over again, but this year I got almost none of them back. So I've got to restock my selection of vintage cookie tins. So I know this lady at this one particular thrift shop had a lot more, so I will be getting more from her the next time I go. And I just like to collect them, and I think getting them here in Europe and giving them to friends back in the States will make it a little more fun. So yeah, that's it. Also, I'm sorry if this light isn't super great. I wanted to go ahead and film this for you guys. I thought this light would be more forgiving, but it doesn't look like it is. And if my hair looks super crazy, it is because my husband got selected for warrant officer school, and so he's trying to get in shape. And of course, I am trying to be supportive. So we have been working out almost every day this week, and my husband's preferred form of workout is swimming, like lap swimming, which thank the Lord is open now on post. It's the only part of the gym that is. The whole gym's been closed since at least before Thanksgiving. And so we've been going swimming. So my hair has been getting wet in the pool, even though I wear a swim cap. And then it also gets wet afterwards when I try and wash the chlorine out of it. So it's a little bit mad at me right now. It's looking a little bit cray, but this is my real life. This is what I look like. I could have really redone my hair and tried to trick you guys into thinking that that's what I look like every day, but that's not. This is what I look like every day. And right now, every day is kind of angry hair. There you go. Okay guys, so this is the first of 2 long case clocks I ended up buying. Don't judge me. This clock is only about 5'10" and some change inches tall, just nearly 5'11". So it is technically classed as a grandmother clock. And honestly, she's very petite. She's very demure. I don't think this clock is masculine in any way, if a clock can be masculine. She seems like a grandmother clock to me. I believe it. So this is a Warmink, which if you're a clock nerd, which I am not, but I looked on the internet and found some, is a fairly well-known brand, originally from the Netherlands. And this one I was very lucky to find is an original. So the pieces are also made at the same factory in the Netherlands. And eventually the person who made these clocks ended up using workings from Germany, which were also supposed to be pretty good quality, but to have one with the original Dutch workings is really cool. I was really excited when we went and saw it and saw that indeed it was original. I only secretly hoped that that would be the case. So I'm going to, it's not really winding it up because it's a weight driven clock, but I'm going to show you how to do that. So I lift the weights and then I start the pendulum. And now it actually keeps time just perfectly. This one does not currently chime. You could hear right then that it wants to chime, but it is broken. I don't really think it's broken. I think it just hasn't been cleaned or oiled in many years. So I'm going to have a clock doctor, as the lady I asked called him, come out on next Tuesday, and he is going to see if he can service this clock and get it so it will chime. It will chime if you stick your hand back there and kind of get it going. And then it's a really beautiful musical sound. So hopefully next week sometime I can record it doing that and show you guys. So this one is probably circa 1960. A very cool piece. This company no longer makes clocks. So I'm very grateful to have it. And then a week later, I saw this on Facebook Marketplace. And now I have two because my husband wouldn't tell me that I was insane like he should have. So this is a French clock. It is circa 1890 and it's called a comptoir clock. They are made in France near the Swiss border, and they are known for these enormous, really heavily ornamented pendulums. This clock on the inside is so vastly different from the Warmink. It is rougher, it is simpler. The weights that drive it, unlike the Warmink where they are, you know, supposed to be kind of ornamental and brass, these are heavy, like cast iron or something. They are not cute, but that's okay because they're covered up for this by this giant ornamental pendulum. The names on the face, this is the seller of the clock and this is the city that his shop was in. And you can see this one, rather than pulling up the weights by the chain like you saw me do with the Warmink, you actually use a key and wind it, like you've probably seen on a mantle clock. The sides do open and I could show you, but I think it's way too dark for you to be able to see. This one is not operational at all. I can make it chime if I bring it to the top of the hour, but it doesn't keep time. I think it's out of balance, honestly, and the pendulum like brushes, so it won't keep perpetual motion. And this one is not nearly as beautiful sounding, as musical when it does chime, because it just has one big giant bell in the top, and it just has one hammer that goes up against the bell, and that's it. I think it's supposed to chime more than that. There you go, 11. Yeah, also this clock is enormous. It is 7 foot 3 inches tall. And you can see it's just much rougher looking. The door is a little warped here. It's got wooden dowels as opposed to screws or whatever. It is beautiful. You can find these clocks online, but a lot of times they do not have a case. It's just the clock face and the pendulum, and they are mounted on the wall. So we were super duper excited to get this one. Hopefully the clock doctor, when he comes on Tuesday, will be able to also work on this one. I don't think it will be that hard for him. It's just, it's so dirty and needs to be oiled on the inside. Apparently your grandfather clocks are supposed to be oiled once a year or once every 2 years. And this guy was so dirty on the inside. I think there were spiders in there that died before I was born. So I highly doubt it's been oiled any time in the last 30 years. So hopefully he'll be able to fix that out, and I'll give you guys an update. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know down in the comments if you liked this more off the cuff style of video. And you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.